making cranberry-studded peanut butter scones. Scones originated in Scotland, and these small, sweet, quick breads are best served warm. These peanut butter scones are sweetened with Sucanat, which stands for sugarcane natural, and topped with Demerara sugar. Billington's natural Demerara sugar is a large grain, unrefined cane sugar with crystals that stay crunchy during baking, which makes them perfect to use as a topping. The first thing we're going to do is add 1 3/4 cups of pastry flour. This is whole wheat pastry flour, and that's a soft wheat, which is best to bake with. A whole wheat flour that you would normally use to bake breads with would be very heavy in a recipe like this. And now I'm going to add whole rolled oats, baking powder, baking soda, a teaspoon of each, a teaspoon of cinnamon. The smell of cinnamon baking is so wonderful. This is a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of dried cranberries. Not only rich in antioxidants, they taste pretty darn good. And I like to add them in with my dry ingredients. I like to add dried cranberries, raisins, any kind of dried fruit in with the dried ingredients, because that'll keep it from sinking to the bottom, especially in cakes. It gets coated with the flour and they stay separate that way. Now I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to take 1/3 cup of light silken tofu. It's not like the spongy water-packed tofu that you see in the supermarket. Light silken tofu is Japanese style tofu, and it comes in aseptic packaging. You can get it on the shelf, it's shelf stable. And since I'm not using the whole block of tofu, which is about 12.3 ounces, I'm going to take and mush it down so that I can measure it properly, stir it around and mush it down so that I know I have 1/3 cup. It's going to replace the eggs that we would normally see in baked goods. This is 1/3 cup of prune puree. Prune puree is a fat replacer that is easy to make and will replace the fat in baked goods 100%, enhancing the flavors of chocolate and cinnamon. Now we're going to add the Sucanat, sugarcane natural. Sucanat's a very popular sweetener, unrefined. Now we're going to add peanut butter, homemade peanut butter. I made it this morning. This is 1/3 cup of orange juice. This is orange blossom water, wonderful aroma, very much like rose water. Press on. I can already smell the orange blossom water. I'm going to make a little well in my ingredients. And add the wet ingredients to the dry. I'm going to mix this together, and as soon as it becomes like a cohesive dough, I'm going to turn it onto a floured counter. I'm going to drop a little flour on the counter, and I'm going to knead it a little bit. And we're going to form the scones, and we're going to bake them. When we come back, cranberry studded peanut butter scones.